It's a part of California that doesn't usually end up on any travel destination bucket list.
It may be caused by the fires that came through here, I don't know what, but it is spectacular.
But as people are busy headed to another crowded beach or into the mountains to discover its world-class national parks, an entire section of California remains largely overlooked as a place to explore.
It's a very vibrant orange. We were just saying that the cameras and the videos don't really do it justice.
These are the foothills of California, landscapes with their own distinct beauty that can change dramatically with the seasons, but can be difficult to reach on private lands.
Depending on what's going on, if I need to do some thinking, I'll come more regular and think about things.
I'd be thinking a lot if I had this as my backyard.
You know?
But we found a few ways to unlock the usually impossible access to places like this that anyone can use at a time of year that makes these often forgotten settings some of the best places to photograph on Earth.
What we're seeing right now are gold fields and meadow foam.
Get ready for a rarely seen side of California's outdoor beauty as we crack the code on capturing foothill frames that come to life.
Good thing I packed a flower print dress and I can bust out some do-re-mi right now.
That's right.
When you travel, the world becomes a smaller place. When you explore with friends that share a love of photography, destinations come to life. This water is emerald green. We tell the stories of travel with our cameras, capturing some of the most beautiful locations on Earth. But every adventure reveals more than what's in the frame. Thunder boomers, we see them popping up right now. The people, the food, and unexpected turns in the journey.
Now they're gonna swim right with it.
Brings the full experience of travel into focus. In a state with nearly 40 million people living in it, it's easy to forget that most of California looks like this. Hundreds of thousands of acres of wide open, rolling grasslands and pastures that make up a section of the state within an area we call the foothills. California's coastal mountain ranges from just north of Los Angeles to the San Francisco Bay Area are almost entirely made up of foothills. On the east side of the state's massive San Joaquin Valley, foothill lands gradually rise to form the tallest mountain range in the contiguous United States, the mighty Sierra Nevada. But it's here in places like Yosemite National Park or on the world-famous beaches of California that most tourists seek out. Driving past some of the best places for landscape photography you'll find anywhere in America. And in spring, when the foothills are green after winter rains and carpets of wildflowers come to life, a short window of time is open where this becomes one of our favorite locations to shoot on Earth. For this adventure, Zach, David, and I have split up to cover more ground as the seasons change rapidly in California and the opportunity to film these landscapes in full bloom may only last a week or two. We also decided to shoot this one over the course of several months to show the contrast of how these foothills can change from season to season. And since most of the foothill lands in California are on private property, with a lot of these areas used for cattle grazing, we're going to show you how Conservancy organizations are a great way to support the protection of the foothills from commercial and residential development while allowing you access to hiking and photography that in spring is tough to beat. So obviously most of Central California's foothill area is going to be private property. You're going to see a lot of cattle ranching, you're going to see a lot of barbed wire fencing, you're going to see a lot of cattle. There's also going to be a fair amount of public access roads that go through these areas, county roads, that type of thing. And usually you'll find places to pull over, and when the setting is right and when the lighting is right, like it is now. Right now we've got a weird mixed sky going. It's been really flat all day today. It's been kind of cruddy photographically, but right now we got some mixing sky in the west. The sun's kind of peeking through and playing peekaboo right now. And what you get in that situation is you get these little bursts of low angle sunlight, late afternoon sunlight, coming in and sort of painting the foothills foreground with the light in the foreground, and then you'll have this dark background, which you have right now. So it's great photographically. And I don't know, when I'm driving around, I always try to think, Keep your eyes open for that little moment, for that one place that just has the right setting. It's just a feel thing. You're gonna come around a corner and you're gonna see something that just speaks to you. Pull over and get the shot. It's too easy to keep driving and say, oh, I'll just go a little further. I'll just go a little further. The next thing you know, you're back home. How you liking the iPhone 12 as a landscape shooter?
I like it. I'm gonna shoot you now. We're shooting each other.
Yeah. One of the things I love about pointed out that way to the bright sky and the dark foreground is the HDR, the high dynamic range on the iPhone 12 in video mode is actually really nice. As you can see what Jill's doing here, she's setting exposure for the sky, but the HDR, when it's on, it'll really make a nice shot, and it's got the wide angle lens too on the new iPhone 12 and the iPhone 11. About 90% of the time, we shoot this show with our big cameras. These are professional grade rigs shooting in 4K with pretty expensive lenses. But to illustrate that you don't need to break the bank to be a good landscape photographer, my wife Jill shot all of these scenes with her new smartphone. Like the big cameras, these phones can shoot stunning 4K video and can help almost anyone enjoy the practice of photography with pro results. Taking the public back roads through these private foothill lands is a fun way to explore with any camera, and here, in early January, the rains haven't yet come to California, leaving the rolling hills brown and the cattle hungry. But by mid-March, that's all changed, and now, thirsty rangelands near Fresno, California look like the hills of Ireland in spring. I'm fortunate to have access to some of these private lands, and the owners of the ranches have agreed to allow us to shoot here to share these typically off-limit landscapes with all of you. All right, so today is a perfect example of the hills are alive with music and flowers and greenery. So we wanted to come up today because this is such a perfect example of the foothills in spring in California and what happens out here. For a brief window of time, these foothills just come alive and they're just beautiful, and that's what this show is all about. The added cool fun factor thing we wanted to do today was we left the big cameras at home. The big cameras you normally shoot the TV show with home. It's just Jill and I out here in the battle van, and we're gonna shoot this entire bit with our phones. The new smartphones, like the iPhones, are really cool. I've got an iPhone 11, she's got an iPhone 12. We're not sponsored by Apple, so it's okay to talk about the products. And anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and have fun out here, filming what we see on this beautiful tabletop mesa out here on a great day, and show everybody, I hope, how you don't need the big fancy camera to come out and enjoy landscape photography. This ranch is known for its distinctive tabletop feature that rises sharply above the surrounding pastures. The plan is to take the battle van up on top of the mesa to enjoy the springtime views, but on the way, Jill and I are drawn to the unique rock formations that have crumbled off the walls of these tables, revealing clues to this area's volcanic history. Now, Jill is a bit of a rock hound. Whenever we're out exploring, she usually has her nose pretty close to the ground investigating the different rocks she encounters, and often comes home with a pocket full of them that she then hands to me to do something with. Now, up on top of the mesa, the sweeping views and lush green grasses paint an amazing landscape that really needs to be captured by drone. This is the peak season to be in these foothills. The grasses, flowers, and now oak trees are leafing as warmer temperatures return. Soon, this entire area of California will turn brown as extreme heat returns in the summer. But for now, on a day like today, moments from a perfect afternoon are captured and memories are made. Not all of California's Sierra Nevada foothills are privately owned. Federal and state-owned lands like the shores of Hensley Lake in Central California provide excellent fishing and hiking among the green hills of spring. Here, high above Hensley Lake, is a point of interest that's directly tied to one of America's most popular national parks, Yosemite, just over an hour away. This is the final resting place of Major James Savage. Savage was a store owner and trader in the foothills not far from here, just after the California Gold Rush. Savage was well known locally for trading and working with the Native Americans in this area at the time. After the Awanichi tribe that inhabited Yosemite Valley attacked two local gold miners who wandered into the valley and killed a young Awanichi boy, James Savage was put in charge of the Mariposa Battalion of 1851 that led an expedition into Yosemite Valley, marking its official discovery by white settlers.
Discoverer of Yosemite Valley, March 25th, 1851. He blazed a trail for others to follow. And follow we did.
Never to miss an opportunity to grab an interesting time-lapse shot, Zach finishes up this short segment for us with one last look at the memorial that now stands at Savage's grave. Higher up in the foothills, just below Yosemite, along the Highway 140 approach to the park, David Boomer is shooting at a place where spring triggers an event that is a popular stop for Yosemite travelers here, at Heights Cove along the Merced River.
The color out here is just crazy. I actually wish Zach and Jeff were here with me because I know they'd be loving it. They'd be going nuts with all this color.
The steep slopes above the river flowing with spring snowmelt hold a dazzling display of California poppies, the state flower, all accessed on a narrow and exposed trail that can be crowded in peak bloom.
The trail is really narrow too, and really steep. So if you've got kids and that kind of thing, pets, I mean, everybody has to be really careful because once you start going down some of these banks to the river, that's pretty much it.
We decided that we wanted some time outdoors, away from work, kind of disconnect, spend some time outside. So decided to come up to Yosemite, spending a couple of days here, doing some different hikes, and saw this one in particular with all the poppies and decided to come by, get some of the river and some flowers.
Yeah, and we're on our way into the park right now to do the Vernal Falls and kind of see the sights, but this is a great pit stop because it's so beautiful.
Saw all these golden poppies that are in bloom like that right there. And it was so awesome that I just had to stop and take some shots. The redbud is in bloom as well, and so they're just a spectacular spring type event.
The Heights Cove hike is a perfect example of public lands that allow access to the beauty of California's foothills in spring, and is another reason to explore an area that too often is passed right on by. In the foothills just east of Fresno, California, the gentle, rolling shape of hillsides are interrupted by distinctive flat tabletop features that follow the basic path of the San Joaquin River below. On the north side of the river in Madera County, one of these massive tables sits on property owned by Bart and Cindy Topping, generational cattle ranchers whose family has worked these lands since the late 1800s. Like many of the ranchers in this area, preserving this land and places like this incredible tabletop ecosystem means partnering up with a conservancy organization to protect these areas from development. The Sierra Foothill Conservancy helps ranchers like the Toppings and others in this part of Central California, protecting over 50,000 acres of some of the most beautiful and productive cattle ranching lands you'll find anywhere. All right, so we're walking around in some of this beautiful foothill, Central California foothill areas right now in spring, and I'm lucky enough to be walking with some people that know a lot about this. I've got Bart and Cindy Topping here, and they've been nice enough to show us around some of the lands that they own. I'm here with some of the Conservancy folks, but what is it about this time of the year, Billy, that you love about being up here?
Oh man, you can just see the fullest expression of the biodiversity that's here, especially in terms of native plants, native forbs, all the species that are present. It's a really beautiful time right now.
Do you guys ever just come up here and just sit and just be quiet with nobody and just like peace out?
I do.
Bart, you do? You like just, I mean, I get it.
I come up here and think, yeah. This spot we're standing on right now was my granddad's, part of his homestead. As the other brothers and sisters left the ranch, my granddad was able to purchase their homesteads. And so he put the ranch together. And then my dad, an uncle, inherited it from him. And then Cindy and I inherited it from my dad, or took over for my dad when he was unable to do it anymore. So we were looking for a way to see that legacy continued on, the ranch legacy. And it was about the time Sierra Foothills Conservancy was being formed.
Sierra Foothill Conservancy is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we're a land trust, and we conserve rangelands in Fresno, Madera, Mariposa, and eastern Merced counties. Rangeland conservation essentially comes down to ecosystem services. Ecosystem services are what society gets out of having rangelands conserved. So people tend to think about what they're getting out of rangelands in terms of food and fiber production, some scenic cultural value, but what people don't think about is things like clean air and water, and more so climate regulation, the carbon that's stored in the soil. So most of the state's water moves through rangelands before it can be used by society. And so it's really important that we steward these resources appropriately so that we can continue to have these things and make use of them.
Allison, you grew up in these mountains. What do you love about being up here this time of the year?
Well, I love being outside any day. It's like I was telling these guys this morning, I've been on my computer for the last 3 days straight. And so to be out here with these guys, and especially being able to be with the homeowners, it's just super special. Plus, you know, standing up here on the tabletops, like you're not only experiencing the history, the human history, but being on this tabletop, I mean, we're standing on millions of years of history with the lava flow, and it's just super, super special.
The partnership between the Sierra Foothill Conservancy and the Toppings allows the Conservancy to protect and monitor these lands they've purchased from the Toppings while giving them an easement to continue their cattle ranching legacy. It's a great example of how agriculture and ranching families are working with environmental efforts to protect the planet while continuing the important job of growing our nation's food.
And that's the good thing about Sierra Foothill, that they provide tours, walks, nature hikes to the public, which is available. Now, we don't do it to the public on this place, you know, we're pretty protective of it. However, we do one day a year with the Conservancy for the major donors. They can come up on a one day, hike the tabletop, especially like this time of year with the flowers and that. And then they have a lunch and a little discussion afterwards. So the major donors get to come and see this, not everybody.
Now, while Bart and Cindy Topping's place is pretty tough to see for the general public, the Sierra Foothill Conservancy does take care of public lands on the south side of the San Joaquin River in Fresno County. And here, the tabletops really command the landscape above Millerton Lake.
Today, I'm lucky to team up with Allison again and Bridget Fithian,
the executive director of the Sierra Foothill Conservancy, for a tour of these unique geologic features that are a familiar and beloved part of the central Sierra Nevada foothills landscape. Okay, so we're leaving the Martin Preserve now, and we're headed up to the McKenzie Reserve. And I am in the good hands of two experts. Am I not?
The finest.
Yes.
The finest.
Okay, so we've got the new off-road vehicle here we're going to take up. And about how far are we going right now?
6, 7 miles.
Okay, but we're going to the top of the tabletop right now.
We're going to the top of the table.
And we'll need four-wheel drive.
And we'll need four-wheel drive. And we're hoping that we're breaking this baby in today.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
So the Eastern Sierra has this feature that's called the Long Valley Caldera. And historically, that erupted with some of the most massive lava flows that California has ever seen. And so what happened was that lava flowed all the way across this, what is the Sierra Nevada now, in the lowest places. So it flowed down into all of the river canyons. And over time, through processes of erosion, the lowest point in the landscape became the highest point in the landscape. So what we have now is our flat tables that are the highest point in this landscape, but they are actually this ancient magma flow that has the sinuosity of the San Joaquin River and other rivers throughout the Sierra.
Beautiful. I'm sensing a Sound of Music moment right now as we approach the top of the tabletop here. Good thing I packed a flower print dress and I can bust out some do-re-mi right now.
That's right. Right now in the foothills, on the preserves that Sierra Foothill owns and on the ranches that we hold conservation easements on, we just see this glorious spray of white popcorn flowers and golden fields of gold fields and fiddleneck, and it's really a magical thing and a really special quality of our foothill region.
We're here on top. This is McKenzie table?
This is Big Table.
This is Big Table.
This is not SFC property right
This is,
okay.
This
So
is state land.
we're on state land right
that
now.
SFC manages.
But what we're looking at, and we saw this when we were shooting on the other side of the river over in Madera County. We're in Fresno County right now. But when we were over in Madera County, what you notice when you get to these tabletops, as you were saying, are these vernal pools. And this time of the year, because they were once a pool, I guess, you get this concentration of flowers, right? What are we seeing?
Yeah, exactly. So, so we have this layer of soils that are not very permeable because they're made out of this volcanic material, and so they hold water for longer periods of time. And so the pools stay, and then all the flowering species and the fairy shrimp and the little invertebrates that live in these pools have the opportunity to fulfill their life cycle. So what we're seeing right now are gold fields and meadow foam blooming. And we've got fiddleneck and popcorn flower out here as well. Couple types of brodea. I think there's a snake lily over there maybe. Yep.
I was going to say that was a snake lily.
Ah,
I was almost.
Isn't that a great name?
I was almost certain it was a snake lily, but I didn't want to pull the trigger.
Right?
I didn't want to seem stupid.
Such a great name. Yeah.
I grew up in this area, but have only recently discovered the magic of actually exploring the tops of these tables. It really is surprising how instantly different it feels once you get up here, and making the trip to Big Table or nearby McKenzie Preserve through the Conservancy's access is a special experience and a great way to see a side of California's natural beauty beyond its national parks and beaches. This was also a chance for me to learn about what the Sierra Foothill Conservancy is, and after spending the day with the people that do this work, I have complete admiration for how they are bridging the worlds of environmental protection with the importance of maintaining agricultural legacies.
Doesn't get any better than this, in my opinion, on a spring day. It's mid-80s. It's April 2nd, 2021, and I can't think of a whole lot of other places on Earth I'd rather be right now.
Right? Me neither. It's just magical. And it's our backyard, you know? This is where Allison and I grew up, and where you grew up too.
Yeah.
And it feels really good to do work that saves your backyard, you know, that saves the land, that's part of how you grew up frolicking in the wildflowers as a kid, and how you want your kids to grow up, being able to, you know, run around and climb trees and rocks and get to have those experiences too. And that's what we do. That's what the Sierra Foothill Conservancy does.
We're happy you're here, man. High fives. Thanks, you guys. We're getting closer to Catalina right now, and as we get up here, we've got some dolphins. We're coming up on a bunch of dolphins right now. Here they come right at us, and whoa, there they go. They just turned, and now they're swimming right with us. Yeah, they're right underneath us. Just beautiful spinner dolphins, man. Gotta love these guys. They are just having a blast playing with us out here right now. Oh man, so beautiful. We're basically surrounded by dolphins right now, which is awesome. Look at these guys. They're so agile and they just move so effortlessly through the water. And how lucky are we to be having this moment right here that you can only have when you're out on the seas in a boat like this. Just incredible. Oh, you guys see this, Zach? Get up on the bow, man. You're missing it. Look right down here, Zach. Get right down here. Look. Zach is making his way out here. Get down here. Look at these guys. Get on your knees on the trampoline, man. We got just beautiful shots of these guys right now. Zach is muscling through his seasickness right now to get these shots. Just incredible, man.
What'd you do today? Oh, nothing. Just out on a beautiful, perfectly sunny day with flat seas, surrounded by about 100 spinner dolphins off the coast of California. You?
It's about as good as it gets, you guys.
When you travel, the world becomes a smaller place. When you explore with friends that share a love of photography, destinations come to life.
This water is emerald green.
We tell the stories of travel with our cameras, capturing some of the most beautiful locations on Earth. But every adventure reveals more than what's in the frame.
Thunder boomers. We see them popping up right now.
The people, the food, and unexpected turns in the journey
Now they're gonna swim right with them.
brings the full experience of travel into focus. An early morning in Newport Harbor, California, after a long night of getting cameras ready for today's shoot at sea.
Beautiful morning to the sound of multiple jet aircraft taking off from the John Wayne Airport. Dear God in heaven, that's hit the spot right now. That's good. Oh, we kind of stayed up late last night. We went to bed like at 1. My buddy Mike has been around sailboats his entire life and recently started sailing this beautiful 40-foot lagoon catamaran, the Songbird, out of Newport Beach. We're getting ready in the Songbird. A little breakfast action. Did you guys eat breakfast yet?
Yeah, I had a muffin.
We got some. Take a look, Zach.
We got some good stuff here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's mine.
Okay.
Okay. Don't touch that.
Did you already lick it?
Don't touch that one.
All right, we're just getting ready here.
Called it.
We're kind of just got our gear all sort of just spread out right now, so we can grab it as we're cruising. The galley's pretty good size in here. You know, you've got your microwave oven, you got your coffee maker, stovetop, you got a fridge right here. And one thing I love about these lagoons is the visibility out of the main cabin and the windows that wrap all the way around.
Go ahead and release it, Jeff.
Okay, we are free.
I've been out with Mike a few times on the Songbird and thought it would be fun to shoot a show with Dave and Zach to capture some of the sights and sounds that make sailing in this part of the world unique and try and photograph the abundant marine life you can encounter when making the run over to and around Catalina.
Couldn't ask for a better day so far, man. I mean, we've got blue skies. It's probably 60, high 60s right now. It'll be interesting to see if we've got a little wind out there when we get past the jetty. One of the things I always do is, when I'm here at Newport Beach too, is marvel at all these homes. These beautiful little, homes right on the marina. Historic Balboa Island, Newport Beach is a great part of Southern California, a great part of the country. And some of these old homes have been here a long time, and it's just a great, awesome place to sail, boat. Another thing that's really popular out here are the Duffy rentals, the little Duffy boats that people rent. And you can take a little cruise around inside the harbor here and get a really, up close look at these multi-million-dollar bungalows and homes. Some of them are pretty big.
The wind isn't forecast to be all that great for sailing today, so our plan is to just use the motors and head up the coast, then shoot straight over to Catalina for the night. The gorgeous seaside town of Avalon is our final destination today, where we'll rent a mooring ball for the night and sleep on the Songbird. The flip side to the wind being light to non-existent today is that spotting marine life on the ocean is much easier when the wind isn't causing waves. It's easy to get up close and personal with the creatures of the sea.
All right, this is cool. We're just outside Newport Beach here at the harbor, and we've got sea lions hanging out on the entrance buoy to the harbor here. Get some good shots of these guys. Our first little bit of marine life this morning from the Songbird. Pretty cool. They're like, why are you guys bugging us? We're just chilling right here. Trying to stay away from great white sharks right now. Yeah, it's really cool to be able to get this close to them. We don't want to harass them too much, but they are fun to watch. Got a couple of pups in there.
These sea lions are regular visitors inside the harbor too, and usually stay pretty close to the places where they can hide from predators. Their main concern, the great white shark. One thing I always do when I'm on the Songbird is put a line out and troll while underway. The fishing is really good closer to Catalina, but even out here, you never know what might hit that plug dragging behind the boat.
What I love about being out here, Southern California especially, is there's so much marine life that you can see on just a little day trip like this, you know? You can just go out right out of the harbor. It's not uncommon to see dolphins right away. We just saw sea lions. If you're lucky enough, well, you may not consider it luck, but there's a lot of great white shark activity out here. So, you know, it'd be great to see a great white shark. For me personally, that'd be a dream to encounter a great white out here. And there's all kinds of other stuff you can see out here. The whale watching out here is awesome at different times of the year. You've got the blue whales that come through here, humpbacks, gray whales. So it's really part of the fun when you're out here sailing like this is just the constant watching of the waterline and the horizon for activity. If you see a group of birds work in a certain area, there's probably something there to pay attention to. Look for the blowhole spray of a whale. You know, it's just fun. All your senses are engaged out here on a day on the water sailing like this.
Hey, you want me to get on top, Mike? Yeah. Okay, we're getting ready to raise the mainsail now out here. We're just off of, kind of coming up on Long Beach, just off the coast, heading north. Beautiful, clear day. You can see Catalina off in the distance back there. So we can have a straight shot. There's no marine layer, no fog right now, which is awesome. So Mike has slowed the engines down a little bit. He's put the boat directly into the wind. Well, sort of, if the wind's really light. I'm gonna climb up and then kind of help make sure the sail goes up through the jack lines correctly. And then once that's up, we're gonna lay the boat over into the wind a little bit and just keep on sailing up the coast.
Even though the wind is still kind of a no-show, Mike likes to put the mainsail up to help stabilize the Songbird and catch any wind that might come up while motor sailing.
Right now, if you're ready. Yeah, here we go. Raising the main.
We're running smooth.
It only takes a few minutes to get the mainsail up, and with the wind this light, we won't even try to fly the jib sail out in front. With a new course set for Avalon, it's time to settle in for the 4-hour run to Catalina and keep our eyes on the seas looking for life. It was about that time I started to also keep an eye on Zach Allen. Over the years, I've traveled a lot with Zach, and I've learned that he doesn't do well with movement. I've seen this guy get motion sick on bumpy landings into Vegas and even have to take a knee one time after getting off a ride at Disneyland. So even though he took 2 Dramamine to help with the seasickness, I could tell he wasn't exactly living his best life right now.
Are you seasick, Zach?
Not yet. Not yet. I'll let you know.
You're looking green. I mean, you're like actually looking green.
It's a Martian sunburn.
Even trying different positions on the Songbird didn't seem to help Zach from the train headed well down the tracks by now. Next stop, Pukesville.
That seat in the back.
Oh, Zach's not doing so good.
Zach had a little timeout. He's having a little trouble with his sea legs.
The good news for Zach, he's about to have something take his mind off the nausea and visits to the back of the boat.
We're getting closer to Catalina right now, and as we get up here, we've got some dolphins. We're coming up on a bunch of dolphins right now. Let me check this out. I'm turning the camera around so you can see these guys. Here they come right at us, and boom, there they go. They just turned, and now they're swimming right with us. Huge bait ball right there. Oh man, this is awesome. You can see them off the side of the boat here. We're basically surrounded by dolphins right now, which is awesome. Look at that. Look at these guys. They're so agile, and they just move so effortlessly through the water. They're just amazing. And how lucky are we to be having this moment right here that you can only have when you're out on the seas in a boat like this. Just incredible. Are you guys seeing this, Zach? Get up on the bow, man. You're missing it. Look right down here, Zach. Get right down here. Look. Zach is making his way out here. Get down here. Look at these guys. Get on your knees on the trampoline, man. We got just beautiful shots of these guys right now. Zach is muscling through his seasickness right now to get these shots. Here comes some little baby guys. Some little babies are coming in, and they're going right underneath. They're like, hey, we want to play too. Let's go. Woo-hoo. What'd you do today? Oh, nothing. Just out on a beautiful, perfectly sunny day with flat seas, surrounded by about 100 spinner dolphins off the coast of California. You? Look at these guys behind me, man. Oh, I actually got dolphin spray in my face. That's a first.
In my excitement and eagerness to be a show-off, I misidentified these dolphins as spinner dolphins. They are actually common dolphins. Although I have to say, there was nothing common about them to me. Common dolphins are prolific around the Channel Islands and regularly interact with boats of all kinds out here. Last summer, while on another trip aboard the Songbird with Mike and our families, we encountered a massive pod of these common dolphins on the west side of Catalina while sailing around the entire island.
Jill, get up here! Here we go, baby! Now they're gonna swim right with us. Yeah! That is what it's all about, folks. Yeah! Look at them down there. Look at them all. Coming back in again. Look at them, man. They're just beautiful. What do you think, buddy? Pretty cool? That's rad. Look at them all. Now they're cruising off to the side. All right, let's go over there.
Sailing aboard these catamarans is an amazing way to enjoy the beauty of the ocean, the diverse sea life here, and destinations like Catalina Island. Like life in general, sometimes we're so busy sailing to the next destination, we miss the opportunity to just stop and float quietly on the ocean. We cut the motors on Songbird and with no wind blowing, just floated in the middle of the channel to be a part of this environment instead of moving through it. What that one act did, along with a lot of luck, was give us an opportunity to see up close and experience a rare and mysterious friend from the deep.
We are cruising up on a giant, keep him on this side, Mike. We're cruising up on a giant sunfish. Look at this guy. Can you guys see that? He's swimming right below us right now. We're circling him right now. What happens is these sunfish, they hunt so far deep down in the ocean that they use up all their energy. And then what they do is they come up and they kind of roll over on their side like he's doing now. And they just let the sun warm their bodies. And they're just amazing, huge, oddly shaped creatures. And he's just kind of cruising. If you were just to cruise by, you would think you were looking at a shark. The way that fin is, sort of waving back and forth in the water. But he was sleeping when we rolled up on him, and now he's moving along. You guys getting a good shot of him? Yeah.
The ocean sunfish, or common mola, lives in oceans all around the world and spends most of its time down deep hunting squid and jellyfish. This one is still pretty small. Large adult sunfish can weigh up to 2,000 pounds. They come to the surface to thermally regenerate after long periods in deep, cold water. We didn't want to get too close to this one since it seemed really exhausted, but floated near it enough to get some shots of this odd and somewhat rare sight out here in the channel. With Catalina Island now getting bigger in the window, it's time to take the Songbird into Avalon for the night. Avalon Harbor is a popular place for power and sailboat owners from Southern California to come over the weekend, and several ferry services make trips out here every day.
So the rule here, at some point you call into the harbor master and
You just
say,
pull up
hey.
to the harbor entrance, they come out. If you do call them, then they're like, yeah, as per standard procedure, the harbor patrol will be out to meet you.
Oh, they just tell you don't call them.
Right.
Gotcha. So you pull up to the main entry buoy and you just sit tight. They'll come out and say,
Yeah.
what's your business?
Right.
You say, I want a mooring ball for the night.
Right.
They say, okay.
How long are you?
How long? One night.
Yeah.
They're gonna say, what is it, 70 bucks, 80 bucks?
I think it's 55.
55 bucks for the night.
Yeah.
And then, and then they'll look on a map and say, go ahead and go to ball Echo 42.
Right.
And then he'll tell you where to go, and you go, and we line up on the ball.
Yeah. Typically, if it's really empty, they'll give you a little bit larger ball, so it's a little bit easier to pull the lines up, give you a little bit of room. So
don't yell at us if we're not good at pulling all this stuff up. We're rusty.
Hey,
I'm gonna have
worst
Dave
case
help us
scenario,
over
we
here.
just drop the lines and do it again. It's no big deal.
Once we're safely hooked up to the ball, the work for the day is over. Our floating hotel rooms for the night become an exclusive place to relax, unwind, take in stunning views of Avalon, and for Captain Mike, get a little shut-eye. Life around the harbor is quiet tonight. We're here on a Tuesday, so boat traffic is almost non-existent, and after some downtime to steady our legs, we decide to go into Avalon for dinner.
Can we get a short boat at ball 227?
Roger that. 227, how many?
Party of 4.
Copy 227 for 4.
Thank you.
The shoreboat picks us up for the 25-second ride to the main pier, and we're back on land. Zach is happy. The waterfront scene of Avalon has that cool, beachy vibe of a surf town mixed with the refinement and feel of a small village on the French Riviera. Chewing gum mogul William Wrigley Jr. bought Catalina Island in 1919 and had the iconic casino building built in 1929. In its heyday, it was the spot to be, and today, its restored ballroom still hosts large events here. No, not the Catalina wine mixer. And walking tours of this grand building are available. Sorry, no gambling here anymore, though. You can definitely tell, like, toward the end of the day, when those ferries roll out of here, the population of this town goes down big time, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah, the beaches vacate.
Yeah.
It's got fixed up a lot since I've been here last.
How long has it been since you've been here?
Catalina, it's been about it's been 3 years about. Yeah. 3 years. We usually stay here at this hotel, Hotel Outwater. And it's been renovated really well. It looks beautiful outside though.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work down here.
It's pretty nice.
After a nice dinner, it's back on the shoreboat for a quick twilight run back to Songbird for the evening. A peacefulness sets over Avalon as day slips into night, and the lights of the town provide a beacon for distant ships on the horizon. We woke up this morning and checked the weather, and it looks like we kind of knew this before we headed out, but we were expecting some pretty good winds this afternoon, right?
Yeah, right at our tails, we're looking at winds out of the west-northwest at 20 to 30. But I think it's going to be pretty mellow until about 4 or 5 this afternoon. We should have Songbird back home and tucked away before then.
It's been a fast and fun run out here to Catalina, but we're all looking forward to actually getting Songbird in some wind and cutting the engines for a while.
Goodbye, Avalon. It's a pretty town.
Not long after we leave Avalon Harbor, the wind we saw in the forecast greets us just offshore, and we begin the process of raising the sails.
We have 15 knots of wind, and we're in a close haul, 45 degrees off the wind.
Once the drone of the twin diesel engine stops, and the sound of nothing but wind in the sails and waves splashing against the hull, can the joy of sailing be fully understood. So Zach, what do you think about sailing?
This is nice. It's peaceful. Engines off, quiet, wind, water. It's a nice little workation.
It is a workation. You guys deserve it. I'm glad we could do this on our last episode.
It's a nice little break before we ramp back up and do it again, even better.
That's it. Right on, baby. Like many, I've always been mesmerized by the sea. I've always wanted to know it better and experience the life found here in a deeper way. There are obvious challenges to filming on the ocean. You can ask Zach about that sometime. But however you get out here, whether by sailboat or a whale watching tour or private charter, if the conditions are right, and off the coast of California, they are a lot, this is a magical place to see a diverse landscape of life that is more than ready for you to come here and say hello.